obviously I want to talk about your return to the ring, but I got to get this out of the way first. You're a YouTube sensation. What's the secret sauce? I'll get right to the point.
Yeah, what my opinion is, and again, I had a guy who hit me up who has successful channels,
Mhm.
and his pitch to me was, guys, wrestlers just use YouTube wrong. One, it's an underutilized platform where most guys want to do podcasts, most guys want to be on TikTok, most guys want to monetize themselves that way. Just people were using YouTube but not focusing on YouTube.
Mhm.
And basically what he said, he was like, if we do YouTube videos and about wrestling rather than wrestling videos and put them on YouTube, he's like, I think we can do well. And it made his idea made sense.
Mhm.
Most guys, and for the ones that have good podcasts, God bless them. But it's the market's so saturated. If I
Mhm.
would have came out and every week be trying to find someone that book as a guest, and then that's a pain in the butt in itself, and then try to fill an hour's worth of content. Let's say I did all that, then you got to try to get umpteen thousand people to tune in every week for an hour, and people just don't have that kind of time. So what we do is, we're given bite-sized chunks of information, but we're doing it's wrestling information, but it's kind of like in a style that your successful YouTubers are using.
Mhm.
And listen, we bite their ideas. Like, we literally, I'm not ashamed to say it,
Yeah.
we're using ideas that are successful with other people, and we're just putting a wrestling spin on it. So
Your first video at last I checked was 1.4 million views. Was like, what were your expectations for this? Because it's not like it was just one video. Like, you're regularly getting
yeah,
like hundreds of thousands of views on these. Like, what did you initially set out to gain, or what were your expectations from it?
my first video, my goal was 50,000 views.
Okay.
Like, I thought if with that first video, if we did 50,000 views, I thought that would give us a good baseline. And then I knew there were other videos that would come out that would just naturally, garner more views. Like, I knew the steroids video would get a bunch of views, just because people are interested in that. And our goal, like, he gave me realistic goals. He's been making a living off YouTube for a couple of years now. But he told me, he was like, listen, he's like, we probably won't turn a profit. We probably won't see money off this for 5 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we shattered that. I mean, we saw, we made we made good money the first month, and I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but again, I'm not throwing a parade just yet. I know people are fickle, and we just got to keep putting good stuff out. We have right now, as I said, we have, I would say, videos up through the middle of November already filmed and
Mm-hmm.
in the can, being edited as we speak. And he and I are constantly every day, just texting each other, just going over video ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're trying to stick, because I mean, now that I've gotten this much success, it's kind of like you don't want to let something go.
Yeah.
At that point.
This is a compliment, but your lowest video is 366,000.
Yeah.
And that is a compliment. Like, people would kill for those kind of views. So you're definitely doing something right. I would encourage.
And he and I went through and we looked over the video to try to find what we did wrong. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's something, and I think I know what it is. But like, and I didn't think of it while we were filming it. So I won't be making that mistake again.
Okay.
But yeah, we're trying to get better. And listen, no one's more shocked than I am. Like, I was hoping that, eventually maybe we would get that. I thought that 50-50 number was good, 50,000 views per video, and then eventually 50,000 subscribers, because I know at that point you can start making some money. So that was my humble goals.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're definitely doing great work so far. I look forward to what you have coming in the pipeline. I do notice
Thank
that
you.
I do notice that you are wearing a pretty nice suit. You work in finance, or right?
Yeah, yeah. Like there's the office right there.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you take pride in your appearance at work. You're gonna have to wear a tuxedo on Friday night. Tuxedo match. It's your return to the ring. What do you think? What do you
I,
think about
I
that?
I don't own a tuxedo. I'm not renting a tuxedo. They'll get me in a suit. That's as good. That's as good as I'm getting. And this, yeah, Rich Reed. I don't know what got him all excited and upset, but yeah, he's playing outside of his depth. He's definitely playing outside of his depth.
You have a favorite tuxedo match in history? There's been a few in WWE. There's been a few in different companies. Do you like? Are you studying for this at all, or?
I absolutely not. Absolutely studying. No, I don't want. I trust me. By the time I get done with this whole YouTube channel stuff, I've had my fill of wrestling. The last thing on earth I want to do is look at any more wrestling by the time we get done, and by the time I talk about it, because one of the things that the channel's actually been able to do was because Stevie Richards has a very successful channel as well,
Mhm.
and he and I we touched base. Right. I would say when my channel had about 2 videos out, he reached out to say hi, and now he and I talk every day, multiple times a day, bounce
Mhm.
ideas off each other. He sends me videos, I send him videos, before they go out. So, that's and I talk enough wrestling throughout the day. I don't need to. The last thing on earth I want to do is go and look up more. My goodness gracious.
All right, fair enough. You've had your fill. I did look. I've been following ISPW. I know Tommy. I've gotten to know him
Mm-hmm.
past couple of years. Before he even brought back ISPW, he's doing the '80s wrestling cons. But
Yeah.
one thing I noticed, or two things I actually should say, this will be your 10th match since you ended your retirement in 2016. But I know this is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. But your Wikipedia is out of date. It says you're still retired.
And my Wikipedia also says my middle name's Clint, and it is not.
Okay.
So, so yeah, so that I take Wikipedia with that much
Okay.
believability.
I
Yeah, wrestlers are. How many times? I mean, how many times at last count has Ric Flair retired?
I think I don't know.
Yeah,
Multiple.
yeah, yeah. How many times has he had his last match? That's the one thing about this business that I think is great about this business, and that's as long as there is, as long as there's people still willing to see you. I don't think you fully ever really retire.
Mhm.
And the way I look at my career, yeah, I'm 46 now, and I'm definitely not the athlete that I once was, but I can transition, and I've been able to move into different roles. And ISPW has given me the opportunity to stay within the business and just transition into a different role from an in-ring competitor to a more of a managerial type of role.
Mhm.
And it's actually reignited the love that I have for the business. Because if I was to go out and and wrestle, even if it was wrestle just on weekends, eventually I'm going to get hurt.
Mhm.
The one thing about the human body, the older it gets, it doesn't get in better shape. You're just going to get injured quicker.
Mhm.
And I take 2 trains into work and 2 trains home, which that right there is enough to keep me from getting in the ring on a regular basis. So, with that said, there's not that many, organizations that would, bring in a guy who would, who can work a limited schedule like that. So
Mhm.
I'm very, very thankful that Tommy and ISPW has offered me that. And not to mention, they're 20 minutes from my house usually.
Mhm.
Usually the shows we run, they're literally 20-25 minutes from my house. So it's great.
I've enjoyed your work that I've seen so far. I told Bull James this specifically. It was one of your first promos together. There's just something that worked about it. and I think, you know, you have found a really nice role where you're working with different talent and just finding what gels with each other.
Yeah, I love working with Bull. I love Bull is one of those guys that before working with ISPW, I mean, obviously I knew who he was. I knew the name, but to say I knew much more than that would be a lie. I didn't. I never watched him on NXT. I never watched any of his stuff when he was in WWE. But I think it's safe to say he's one of the guys that they missed on. He's phenomenal. He's amazing, and he could like you could plug him into the weekly shows right now, and he would excel. So yeah, I'm just fortunate enough that he's, you know, I get to show up at the arenas and I get to work with him on a regular basis now.
I know you've said this a few times, so I'm not gonna like dwell on it too much, but I know you didn't like your WWE theme song too much, which I'm sure you've heard that you're maybe in the minority.
I am.
But
I am.
Is there a song, whether it's from that time or current, that you'd be like, man, I really wish that was it? Like one that you hear instantly and you're like, that would have really hit for me.
I really like now. I like Finn Balor's entrance. I love his entrance. I mean Seth's with the, you know, just the up and down. That's just so good. But for my money, the two entrance themes that I always loved, I thought Goldust theme was fantastic, and that original DX. That was just like it to me. Like entrance music, and people don't realize this, but entrance music it plays a role, and that what that role is. It's the role is to tell the fans even before they see somebody come through a curtain what to feel. And the way I explain this to people is think of how you felt the moment you heard that glass break and you knew Steve Austin was coming out. Think of how you felt the minute you heard Rock. It feels like excitement, you know, just joy came over you. And the same as when you would hear, you know, the Taker's bong. Yeah, immediately you just felt something. And I guess the reason I never like took to my thing was for me personally, I never felt that. Now, you're 100% right. I'm in the minority. Yeah, I told people all the time. Cardona still to this day will screenshot his phone and send me like that song. He'll be like, I'm working out, and that comes up in his playlist. Yeah. And it's funny because any interview I do, people, if they ask Undertaker first, the theme music is second. That's what people are asking second. And I said that not thinking it would ever become a big deal. I think people be like, no, he didn't like it, no big deal. But yeah, people love it to the point to where they get like literally hot at me.
Okay. I just difference of opinion. I'm not like that invested, but that's
no, I'm the one that's different. Trust me.
Yeah. All right. So Undertaker, I'm not. You've covered that, you know, in depth for I don't know how many different times, but I do a watch list feature. Is there a match that you wish got as much attention as that one, or one that you just really feel like, you know, was a solid match? You appreciate it for one reason or another, one that you maybe wish people would bring up more often?
Yeah, two. There's a couple matches I had with Orton. Okay. There was that you know, I thought Orton and I always wrestled together. And then obviously I have a pinfall victory against Dave Bautista. Yeah, I wish people would bring that up more. And that was the night that the inmates were running the asylum, and I slapped Batista on doing a backstage, and then we took it out to the ring. Yeah, I mean, not many people can say they have a pinfall victory against the Animal. So, but listen, that said, I am in no way, shape, or form upset that I've had to answer the Undertaker question as much as I have, because that's like that one match gave me a career. So I'm to this day, I'm honored, I'm happy, and I will be thankful forever. that I was able to just be in that spot with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great moment. I'm glad you brought up not many people saying they could have a pinfall victory over Batista, but not many people slapped him in the face and lived to tell about it.
And are still breathing air.
Yeah. All right, I have a couple more questions. It's more of a rapid fire. I'm gonna throw a few names at you. Just first thoughts that come to mind. Josh Matthews.
Oh, probably should have won the original Tough Enough, but talented, happy he transitioned and he's doing what he's doing in the business now. I mean, amazing wrestling mind. When I was in Tough Enough, he was the guy who he knew more wrestling at that point than I still know to this day.
Mm-hmm. I will admit I was rooting for him specifically because I wanted to see him hit a moonsault. That was like the storyline for him. Like, I remember that. So,
he wanted to do moonsaults from day one.
Mm-hmm.
He was literally asking Al from day one when we could practice moonsaults. We're not even in the ring at this point. Like it took probably, I would say, 2 or 3 days before we even stepped foot in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to hit moonsaults. He could do it though.
Yeah, now he can. Now he can.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Harvard, Chris Nowinski.
Obviously, there was contention during the show. Another guy, he could have easily won. He easily could have won. Happy he's doing, like, he's truly making a difference in the world now.
Mm-hmm.
And the research he does on the human brain, it's like he will leave this world a better place than he found it. And I think he's another one that found his calling.
Al Snow.
Oh, father figure. Like, have you watched Wrestlers on Netflix?
Yes, very good.
I binged it. Like, I think it took me probably 2 days to get through them all. And I'm texting Al the whole time. And I think he's a father figure. You can see it on there as well. I like that show because I think they told they told an accurate depiction of what life is like for guys that are one step away from being in the big time.
Mm-hmm.
Indie guys, they're farther away from being to the big show. OVW guys, they're a lot closer. Like, a lot of those people can be called up at any time. So, yeah.
Paz.
I'm just intimidating, aggressive. Taz was the trainer that we had that set the tone. Al was more the father figure. Taz was the father figure that you were kind of a little bit afraid of. Mm-hmm. I think in any good household, you have that loving, figure. For most households, it's the mother. And then you have that parental figure that you kind of have to fear a little bit, which is what makes you come home, before curfew, which is what makes you not sneak out of your house. Mm-hmm. Gotta have a little healthy dose of fear. Taz was that for us.
Nydia.
It's sad that I haven't seen or heard from her since our WWE days. Like, I have not laid eyes on, or even heard from her since then. I hope she's well. I hear she's happy. I hope that's the case.
He doesn't do too much media. I know she did an interview, it's probably a couple of years ago now, but she stays out of the spotlight. But I think she's doing something. I think she's like a realtor or something.
Now, is that due to the fact that does she want to, like, not forget about her wrestling career, but is it just that she's just no longer interested? Because there was a period in my life, there was about a good 5-year period, I wanted nothing to do with wrestling. Nothing.
Honestly, I don't recall the reason for her. I know she's a pretty private person now.
Yeah, it literally took Matt Cardona and Brian Myers dragging me out of my house to go do stuff to get me back into it.
Thank you, Brian and Matt. All right, last one. Maven.
Oh, what's Rebirth? Just Rebirth. Like, I make no bones about. There was a lot of I believe untapped potential. Mm-hmm. And unlived up to potential in my career. I will never dwell on that. It was what it was. but I love the fact, if there's one thing that I love with this whole just rebirth with the YouTube channel, it's that people just seeing a different side of me.
Mhm.
I said in the Chris Van Vliet interview, I think what held me back in my WWE career was I was always a little bit timid and I was a little afraid
Mhm.
to just, I don't want to say ruffle feathers, but just not be myself. I was trying to do a job of as to what I thought they wanted, rather than just being myself. With
Mhm.
this YouTube page, I'm me. I have no agenda. I'm not sending my stuff out to Hunter and being like, "Can I get a job now?" I have zero agenda. And but that offers up it's a freeing feeling. It's very just like emotionally just freeing to know that I'm doing this with another guy and he and I are the only ones that we have to please. And if
Mhm.
we please us, then hopefully it's something that the people, that the fans will enjoy. Oh, don't get me wrong. I've came to this guy with 1,000 ideas and he tactfully tells me no. He'll be like, nah, that's yeah, I don't see us, I don't see it going that way. And it's just because he knows what people are looking for.
Mhm.
He knows the secret sauce is he knows what makes people, want to stay on in view.
Mhm. Well,
So, but that's offered me a rebirth,
mhm.
and it's offered, and I think a lot of people are getting to know the real me and not just the tough enough, maybe from tough enough guy. Because I mean, actually, you tell me what your opinion is. Of the people that graduated or got left tough enough, my favorites are John Morrison and obviously the Miz. Like I think those two are, but and I think what separated them from what I was able to do was they were able to get rid of the tough enough,
Mhm.
halo, where I never was.
Well, I'll say this about Miz. I think being on the Real World helped him because I watched that show almost like
I did too.
I almost watched MTV a little bit more than wrestling then. So when I found like I followed
Yeah,
his career and I remember he did an appearance at my college when I was there. So like it wasn't just, oh yeah, I remember that guy from the real world. Like I was rooting for him because he
yeah,
was a wrestling fan on MTV, like, and I was kind
yeah,
of like, oh, he's almost like one of us. So I
yeah.
was rooting for him. I thought he should have won. I thought a lot of things early on could have went different for him, and it didn't. Like Daniel Puder was the winner, but I mean, yeah, he's done so much with
Yeah.
the opportunity he had. Like it's really awesome to see what he's done.
He's a hard worker. And I see what you're saying because I had an emotional investment in him too.
Mhm.
So that when he finally did make his way into the WWE, it was like he's earned it. Like because I don't know if you remember those challenges shows they used to do all the time. I used
Mhm.
to love those. Oh,
Yeah.
I used to love those. And he would always get into character,
Mhm.
and so you knew he loved it. So by the time he
Yeah.
did make it, I thought he had earned it. And then
Def-
John Morrison. I mean, I just like shit. John's one of the best athletes I've ever
Mhm.
seen. Like
Mhm.
he does stuff with his body that I wouldn't try in a swimming pool. So
Yeah,
like
I
yeah,
agree.
like and I just and it's weird because I mean he's got to be either 40 or in his 40s
Mhm.
now too. And God knows I don't look like I did 20 years ago,
Mhm.
but he does. But he
Yeah.
does.
He's
Yeah,
still in tremendous shape. He
amazing.
probably does even more now than he was doing back then because he just pushes himself. He seems like he has that desire to just learn so much.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. He is
Yeah.
just an amazing athlete, and he was my favorite. Yeah, it's funny. I was doing a signing one time, and this woman comes up to me, and she was a little older lady, and she
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, you're my favorite wrestler," and I was like, yeah, "I'm not my favorite wrestler." So, and that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so of all the tough enough contestants, John Morrison was definitely my favorite, and that's myself included.
Yeah. All right. Obviously we can find you on YouTube. You go search Maven Huffman. Very easy to find. Fun content. anything else you want to promote? Appearances? Anything else you got going on?
Yeah, this weekend we have, if you're in the New York or New Jersey area, we have the ISPW 25th anniversary show tomorrow night. I'm excited because Sergeant Slaughter is going to be there, and then just a lot of the faces that made ISPW what ISPW has become. They will be there at the Tottawa Pal in Tottawa, New Jersey tomorrow night at 7:30, and then Saturday we have the 90s WrestleCon, and that's going to be fun. I mean, anytime you can get the Dudley boys together, that's just, I mean, I told Tommy that, man, that's a feat right there to get those two guys signing. And then other guys like Steiner's going to be there, Lex Luger, Kevin Nash. It's going to be, it's just going to be a fun day. Every time we've had these cons, I end up, obviously I'm there to try to make some money, but I end up enjoying going around and speaking with, the guys that I don't see as much these days. So I enjoy that just as much.
All right. Thank you very much for the time. I appreciate you spending a little time reminiscing on this afternoon, and, best of luck this weekend, and, moving forward. The stuff you're putting out is awesome, and can't wait to see more.
Thank you. Remember, videos come out every day at 12 o'clock. I mean, every day. God, that'd be hell. Every Friday. The videos come out every Friday at 12. So look for them around then. So thank you so much for the kind words about it. It means a lot.